Do you get pain up inside your armpit and it feels like it's in the back side of your armpit where your shoulder and your arm get really, really tight? Here's an at-home self-care tip to release that pain and have your shoulder feeling a lot better. So what you want to do is find a chair like this that has a nice curve where it fits right in your armpit. If you have a wooden chair, then throw a towel over the top of it for some padding. You want to get your arm right up and over that spot. So we're focusing on pressing into the shoulder, back of the shoulder, right about here. And you just hook over. I want you to think about the scapula right here, that bone. You're pushing right into that with the back side of the chair, and then getting this part and the upper part of your posterior deltoid and your triceps with the curve of the chair as it goes around. So we hook in, and I'm right against a wall here. You can't see the wall, but there's one right there. Okay, so what you want to do is lean in and down. And then your forearm is going to push, the back of your hand is going to push into the wall, applying pressure, and it's going to tense up that spot back there. And you're holding it for maybe a breath or 2 or 3, as long as you want, and then you're going to release pressure. And then you do it again, push. Now, as I'm pushing into the wall, I'm also pushing towards the chair, and I'm also pushing down at the same time. And then you're going to relax pressure. And then do it again. And here, as you're holding pressure, or maybe not pressure, kind of feel out where your shoulder's at and what feels good. You're going to rock forward. So the idea is to catch the muscle, that subscap muscle, along the side of that scapular bone, kind of hook the front with the chair, push into it, and then pull back as you lean forward. We want to release the tension away from the bone so the shoulder can drop and relax. And then lean back and push against the chair. You can even hold and get a little more pressure. If you like really deep pressure, this is a good way to do it. Just hold onto the chair so your body can push into that chair a little bit easier. Rock forward and back. Okay. And my arm is relaxed, I'm still bent, and my hand's still against the wall. So you just apply pressure and release pressure as it feels good, as you're kind of moving, shifting forward and back. But you'll feel a muscle that kind of comes up right up in here. It'll almost feel like a wall stuck to that bone that's sore, and it's tight, and it's decreasing the range of motion in the shoulder and causing pain. So you want to try to feel into that spot, push it into the chair, and leaning forward, release it. You want to pull it back away from that bone and away from the shoulder joint so you can get a release happening there. We want a release in that spot. So just the back and forth movement here feels really good. And then another technique is to let the arm drop down and lean again. Just the stretching of the arm, the dropping of the shoulder, it just feels different as far as where it kind of hits in those sore spots. And then you want to lean back, always lean back, and think about getting like the back of the shoulder joint. You can lean back a little bit farther and just keep consistent pressure with the chair as you lean back and forward, pushing in and down at the same time. Just kind of trying to keep along the edge of that scapular bone the best that you can. And that will help with tons of release for shoulder pain. I see this a lot where they point and they say, oh, it hurts right here. And there's multiple muscles in here, not just the rotator cuff muscles, that are causing that problem and the pain and the tightness. It's in the back and it's also in the front. So here, I'm going to scoot back in my chair a little bit. So to get the pec tendon, the pec major tendon attaches right about here in the front of the shoulder. So this one, when the pec is tight, it pulls the shoulder forward and then the head follows. So it contributes to neck pain and a tight chest, and then the forcing of the shoulders to come forward and rounding of the upper back. So in order to get that shoulder to go back and down, releasing the pec major is very helpful. So what we're gonna do is lean into the chair again. So my aim is right about here. This curve right here at the front of the shoulder, I'm pushing in right there, okay? So you're gonna lean forward, holding onto my chair, lean forward and push. So you have your upper body weight and you have downward momentum to add more pressure. Push in and hold it there, okay? And then you release a little bit. You don't want to have consistent pressure and just bang into it and keep it there. You want the release moment where the muscle can relax a little bit. You give it a second to process, you feel in for the response, and then you go back in and try it again. And it should be a little softer and a little bit easier to work with as you go back in. So I'm holding onto the chair to kind of push down into it more, but you can let the arm dangle too, and it gives you a different feel. It's more straight up of a sensation rather than forward. Still feels really good. You can move the arm a little bit forward and back to get that pec. That backward reach is really good to stretch the pec, and you'll feel it all up in your armpit. The armpit, all those attachment points in the armpit are the main hub of why you have shoulder and neck pain. Everything kind of, that's like the root of it, really. In there is where all the problems start. And it's from stress. It's from posturing. Maybe if you sit at a desk all day, it could be from repetitive movement. Who knows? A million different scenarios there. But either way, if you work on tissue release inside your armpit on a regular basis, your shoulders will be down and back more. We don't want to wear our shoulders as earrings, right? We want to have them down and back. Opening up the chest, releasing that pull on the back and on the neck, right? For greater comfort. So working on loosening up the tightness up in your armpit, which you might not even know is there, but if you do stuff like this, or if you use another tool that might work for you, you'll feel it. I promise you, you will feel pain in there and a lot of tightness going on in there. So we want to get also the attachment points at the top of the inside of the arm. So this is like your medial bicep in here, and you have an anterior deltoid right here. So this medial area here that goes up into this area can get so tight, and it pulls the shoulder forward and up, and it even affects your elbow and can cause all kinds of pain through here and up in the neck. So if you feel in your body right in here, guaranteed you're pretty tight and sore right about there. Okay, so this is a great one to get into that spot too. It's just a matter of angling your body in a different way to hit these different spots. I mean, you can hang out on your chair here for a while and really do some deep work on yourself, which will definitely feel good when you're done. So for me, when I get the inside of my arm here, I get real tight in here from work. So what I do is I clamp around my chair and I pull my arm in, and what that does is it pushes really hard against this spot in my arm, which is a huge spot for releasing that I need for my shoulder to feel happy. Okay, so I clamp and I kind of hug around the chair like this, right? And I squeeze. And you could just hold it for a second because it's going to be tender. And then you can rock forward and back. So the idea here is to release the muscle at the tendon end of it, right? Either the origin or the attachment point, depending on where you can get yourself into a position for proper self-care, right? You can, and I've got lots more on my YouTube channel, so take a peek at a bunch more that I have with tennis balls and rollers and broom handles and countertops. There's a lot. I do constant self-care with my job, and it is required. And all these tricks that I've learned over many years of doing this have really helped, and I love to share for you guys so you have these tips at home to do to feel better. So take a peek at the rest of those. You might find some other really cool ones. So the lean forward here, and as we get that tendon end to release, the muscle belly then responds to that tendon releasing and the muscle softens. Okay, so I'm not saying to ignore the muscle belly, but the tendon where it attaches around the joint is really the most problematic spot to give you pain. So I like to always address the joint and what's going on in the joint when I see people that come in with shoulder pain, because once those tendons and all the ligaments in there kind of relax and a little bit happier, then everything else responds to that, right? So the tendon and the ligament are right in the joint, and that's what stabilizes you. So that's going to be the tightest spot. So it's nice to address it from that angle and hit it that way. So yeah, so just the back and forth here. And that's about it for today. I'll do some more later on and be back on with you guys. So have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, message me below. And have a great one. See you later. Bye.